What's up? It's your boy K-Blao HOODX. Sign up hoodx.com. Subscribe to my channel. It's gonna be a lot of information coming at you very quickly in this video. All right. This video talking about cancers. I hate cancers. I also put out another video talking about Pisces. A lot of people accuse me of getting my heart broken by a Pisces woman. That never happened. I never dated a Pisces. I can't stand Pisces. I would never date a Pisces woman. I am in a happy relationship. Most of the women I ever dated was Cancer women. So I'm actually putting this video out to share this with people who are in a relationship with a Cancer person. Whether you're in a business relationship, you could be related to them. It could be a male-female relationship, a love relationship. Whatever type of relationship you're in, that's who I'm making these videos for. I'm not making this video for Cancers. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. Don't look at it as an emotional issue. I'm putting this video out for those who are dealing with Cancer people and don't understand what it is they're dealing with. All right, that's why I make this video. All right, take it with a grain of salt for entertainment purposes only. I'm not trying to piss people off. I did not get my heart broken. I'm not spiteful about Cancers. I do this for the people who are in relationships with Cancer. All right. A man once told me once. He said, water signs, they're like water, because what happens with water, it happens right in front of you. You just can't see it. And a lot of times it takes a trained eye, somebody who's dealt with cancers for a long time, who can actually give you a proper diagnosis of what it is that you're seeing, give you the words that may be necessary to overcome what it is that you're going through. So, got some notes, just like the first video. I'm trying to put out as much information as I quickly can. This might end up being a 40-minute video because I got so many notes, but I'm trying to blast through this. Cancers. Things I hate about Cancers. Sometimes they're grumpy, they're very secretive. They are passive aggressive, they are grudge hoarders. They have bipolar mood swings. I mean, they're up one moment, down one moment, they laugh one moment, cry the next moment, ready to fight one moment, ready to retreat one moment, all day. They do a lot of pointless worrying, especially over things that never even happen. A lot of times Cancer spends so much time worrying about not only things that never even happen, but things you can't even do nothing about. But this is their realm, this is where they stay at. If you really want to understand the Cancer, look at the moon. Usually you'll see patterns. If there's a full moon, they probably act in one way. If it's a no moon, they're probably acting a certain way. If it's half a moon, they act a certain way. And you will eventually start to see patterns in this. It's messed up. They should know this, but they don't, which is really insane to me. But the more you pay attention to the moon and their patterns, the more you will understand the nature of them and see these patterns. Cancers can be very devious. They can be very spiteful. A lot of times they want to be the hero, but they have a personality that's too dark or too negative to be a hero. You look at 50 Cent. 50 Cent's an excellent person who falls into this caliber. Somebody wants to be a hero, but you can see something's just not there. Something's not right with him. He's not really a typical hero. He's kind of like an anti-hero. A lot of Cancers fall, especially men, fall into this category. Man, Cancers have a typical distrust of life, meaning that they don't just trust you, they don't trust life at all. They typically think that they're going to get cheated on in a relationship. 9 times they do. They typically think that they're going to get, screwed over somehow, and typically they do, because they welcome this energy. They don't just trust you. It's not just you. They don't trust life. So you need to be aware of that. A lot of times the way to look at a Cancer is like this. Picture building a sandcastle on the sand, right? Huge sandcastle, and every 30 minutes a huge rush wave of water just comes, wipes it out. And it's like all that work went right out the window. You got to start over, build the whole castle again. Every 30 minutes, boom, it's getting wiped out over and over and over again. No matter what you do, the sandcastle you build is going to get wiped out. And that's what it's like a lot of times dealing with a Cancer. It's because the water represents the emotion. A lot of times the emotion will come in and wipe out whatever foundation you lay down over and over. And they will constantly go through this. And a lot of times you'll find yourself with a Cancer having to start over and over and over and over. You'll constantly find yourself starting over with a Cancer over and over again. Whether it's the relationship or whether even it's a simple concepts you have to explain over and over again with them, because it's just like water comes in and wipes out the foundation every time. So make sure you're aware of that. Cancers like to talk about random things at any moment. Like you be in the middle of a conversation talking about something, and you're trying to make a point, but what they'll do, they'll actually start a whole new thread of conversation. Hey, so-and-so called me the other day and said that their boyfriend was cheating on them. Or, hey, I drink orange juice every morning when I wake up. It's the best thing I ever do. Or, I just recorded a new song last night. It's it's a really good song. Cancer kids are notorious for doing this. Like I've dealt with several Cancer kids. They just, hey, I got Spider-Man at home. I got Iron Man at home. I drink water every day. I use the bathroom by myself. And they just, like, whatever it is. What you learn how to do is have conversation threads, which means one conversation leads to the next, and trying to find transitions in your conversation. So it's just throwing a lot of things out there. 'Cause a lot of times it sounds irritating. A lot of times people don't want to deal with that. Bambi mom moments is something that you would definitely expect dealing with a Cancer. What I call Bambi mom moments. If you've ever seen the movie Bambi, where Bambi's mom gets shot, and it's a really sad scene, and they're just, oh my god. This Cancers dwell on this. They love this. They look for moments in life like this. I call them cartoon moments sometimes too, where it gives them an excuse to act like a cartoon. I'm sitting there talking to you. There is some type of emotional input that I'm saying, but you don't see me act like a cartoon, like, oh my god, oh, all that extra shit. This is what Cancers do. A lot of times they have cartoon moments where they take the level of dopamine and take it to the next level, where they're just acting, oh, just straight raw emotion and feelings. This is typical Cancer behavior. Cancers are very susceptible to suggestion, meaning that like, for example, I knew a guy who was dating, he was married to a Cancer woman. He was trying to start his own business for years. Was going through a rough time, point in time. Now, mind you, he runs a website. She don't have a membership with his website. She don't help him with his business, none of that. She's not interested in even the things he's selling. It's not even interested in her. But somebody else will come knock on the door, try to sell some things, and she'll actually spend the money with them. Mind you, like I said, this is a time they was low on money. She actually would spend money with this guy, because she was trying to help out somebody. Hey, it's an independent black business. I want to help him out. And he's like, hey, I run a business. I'm your spouse. You're not even interested in none of the business I'm saying, but you're gonna spend money with this guy. That's kind of how they fall into a suggestion. A lot of times that you may agree on something, you can say, hey, we're gonna do things this way, or this is gonna be our foundation. And just like the moon is changing, their mood is changing. So a couple days later, whatever the situation is, how it presented itself at that particular time, whatever it did to their feelings, they'll find a reason to go against whatever foundation that you lay down. Go back to the sandcastle. You build a sandcastle and it just comes and wipes it out, and they'll find a reason to go against what you said. Know that dealing with Cancers. Cancers love to fret over their friends' failures, like they're helping out, but they really just love to gossip. It's really not about the helping. They just really like to gossip. There's a concept called Schadenfreude, which is spelled Schapenfreude, which is this kind of reaction, like you ever see a vegetarian just realize he ate some chicken on accident, and he's like, oh man, or watch a kid put on shoes on the wrong feet, and then you realize that they're on the wrong feet, and he's like, oh wow. They like moments like this in time where it just kind of makes them smirk a little bit, like, look, they look for moments like this in time, especially if it's dealing with you. If you make a mistake, or if you screw up, you walk and bump your head or something like that. They love to see things like that. They keep emotional secret. Not necessarily when I was talking about that, not necessarily nobody getting hurt. Like, you might bump your head as long as you didn't get hurt. But like, if you type of person take yourself a little serious or something like that, and you walk out and bump your head, like, they love moments like that. They keep emotional secrets, so nobody can do what they're doing. So they use the maternal instinct, or they use the nurturing instinct to manipulate sometimes. So if you try to be maternal to them, you try to be caring, you try to be nurturing them, it's a lot of times it's hard for them to sit under that energy, because they see it as emotional manipulation, because that's what they're doing. So if you try to do what they're doing to you, a lot of times they can't do it. You start cleaning up your own house, like they clean up for after you, they do your dishes, so you start taking action yourself. You start cleaning your own dishes, you start cleaning up after yourself, and and basically show some self-respect. They're going to try to drain whatever ounce of self-respect that you have right out of you, because they need that leverage. They look for insults a lot of times, especially if you're in a relationship with somebody. Eventually you're going to get feedback. A lot of times when you try to give them feedback, especially you might be in a business relationship, and how they're doing their business, you try to give them feedback, they just see it as an insult. They don't see it as something that's really helping them, because they think with their feelings. They don't see it as logical issue, so they'll see it as an insult. And they look for insults. If it's a chance to have fun, they'll start worrying about things that you can't even do anything about. This is only a front to stop having to take action on the things that you actually could take action on. A lot of times Cancers don't like to grow up. They don't like to take risks. So if it's a situation for them to maybe go play baseball, or get their hands dirty, go play football, or even go jump on a motorcycle ride or something like that, they oh no, I can't do that. They'll start worrying them, and they'll bring up, what if we crash, or what if I get hurt, and stuff like that. They don't grow up. They don't like taking risks. So a lot of times, that's why it's a lot of times Cancers deal with children a lot, because they are children pretty much, because they never grown up. And because they look for, especially if it's a chance just to have some really good fun, just have some fun, they'll start worrying about stuff. You know, they're gonna start approaching like a teacher or like a mother or somebody where they kind of stand on the sideline and be careful, stuff like that. You know, they're not gonna jump in and get their claws dirty, you know, get their hands dirty. There's a concept called set the stage, which is like Cancer's not gonna directly confront you, but they will set the stage for you basically to confront yourself. So they won't come out and say, hey, I think you're cheating on me, but they will say something like, hey, who's that calling you, or who you up texting, or who's that girl you're talking to, you know, where they set the stage for you to come out and say, what, you don't trust me, or something like that. But they say, oh, I didn't say I didn't trust you, and this is what they do. They set the stage for the drama. So now your two characters on the stage arguing, you know, and they didn't accuse you or nothing. They just, you know, just did a little subliminal. They set the stage. Because they won't confront you, a lot of times they will mumble things, or they'll talk behind your back. You know, they'll mumble little slick shit, you know, when you're walking off. They are sloths that will sit in their own emotional despair and filth until it turns into clutter. You know, that's why a lot of times their house is cluttered. Cancers, they sit in their house running these emotions through their head all day to the point where they don't notice that dishes are piling up, you know, laundry sitting out all on the floor. You know, they won't even notice, because they're all in their head thinking these emotional thoughts. And clutter is a very big part of dealing with cancers. They use their maternal instincts from the moon to exasperate and smother you. So the maternal instincts, as far as they'll say something like, hey, let me do your clothes, or hey, you know, I'll wash your clothes, or hey, let me clean up your office, or hey, let me, you know, clean this up for you. But what they're really doing is going through your email, or they'll be you know, they say, hey, let me do your laundry. They're really going over it thread by thread to make sure there's no evidence or lipstick on the collar or nothing like that, to make sure, you know, to really look close. So they're using that maternal instinct as a cover-up for manipulation and spying. They don't believe in privacy in a relationship at all. The concept of privacy in a relationship is completely foreign to them. You know, they expect you, if you're in a relationship, there's no privacy. There's no, they feel that they can go through your phone whenever they want to go through your phone. They can go through your text, they go through your email, they go through whatever they want, because there is no privacy in dealing with a relationship with a Cancer. This is how they see life. They're constantly snapping at their friends sometimes, and then they'll be right back cool with them. You know, they'll bake them some cookies, you know what I'm saying? Then they'll bring the cookies over there and then start an argument there, you know, and then they'll walk out like, hey, I was just trying to bring you cookies, you know, with the martyrdom shit. They kind of do shit like that, where, you know, it's back and forth just like the moon all day. But from their point of view, they're constantly setting a stage for them to be the martyr. You really think about what this is a general statement, so please take this with a grain of salt. You really think about what the moon is. The moon frets around the earth all day, and it doesn't really have a life of its own outside of the earth. You know, as far as the rest of the universe, the moon is really nothing. It's, you know, it's just something with the earth. So a lot of times that's how Cancers are in a relationship. You know, they're like the moon. They don't really have no other purpose than the relationship they're in. Like I said, take that with a grain of salt, because we are generalizing a little bit for the sake of this video. But I mean, if you really think about it, Cancers, their life is really just fretting around the person that they with. They don't have any light of their own, just like the moon. It doesn't have any light. It only bounces off the sun. You know, it needs the sun for that light. So that's how in their relationship, they don't have any light of their own. They need you to shine light on them so they can keep revolving around you. They treat their spouses worse than they treat their friends and family. For example, like if you might see a family joke, you know, like me, I'm tall. Sometimes my brother called me Jolly Green Giant, stuff like that. You know, if I was a Cancer, you know what I'm saying, and then my woman called me Jolly Green Giant, I'd be like, oh, why is she making fun of me, and that's not nice, and you know, whereas like anybody else, like I'll give you an example. One time, my wifey, we slept over her family's house. She had a sister. This girl's thing, she's a Cancer. And you know, she woke up in the morning, she didn't get to shave her legs, you know, because we were gonna leave, and she bumped up against her sister, and her sister was like, oh girl, you need to shave them legs. She's like, don't touch me unless you shave them legs. You know, and I know if I had to say something like that, she would have had a complete breakdown right there and there on the spot, you know. But her sister said it, they laughed, had a good time, and it was cool. And I kind of noticed, I was like, wow, you know, the accountability that was being placed on me, it's not fair, you know. And you'll notice things like that in a relationship with a Cancer. They will date losers, so they feel like winners. A lot of times they'll date people that's, you know, not on the two different leagues. They'll date a loser, so they feel like a winner. They won't directly confront you, but they will set a stage for drama. If you look at 50 Cent, 50 Cent's a Cancer. A lot of times when every time he came out with an album, he had to make fun of another rapper or diss another rapper. It was Ja Rule, Jada Kiss, he was dissing at one point. I think at one point he tried to diss Lil Wayne. He didn't really come all the way out and do it. He just kind of set the stage, you know, bait. That's what they call baiting, like they'll bait you. He was dissing Rick Ross at one point. Kanye West, I think he got into it with. And at one point, you know, he ran out of drama. You know, he tried to put out an album with really no drama. And you see, he basically lost his deal. Nobody bought it because that's his nature. His nature is, you know, creating drama, creating controversy that's going to push the album. That's the drama that a lot of times cancers need. You look at the story too of Bret the Hitman Hart, who was a wrestler from WWE. They had a concept called the Montreal Screwjob. You should really look and see what that is, because it was a concept that he was supposed to pass the torch of the WWE belt when he was leaving WWE. He had been working with WWE for years, and he basically went against them to basically advance his career. Not only his career, but he felt that he had to go against them. And what it did, it created a lot of drama and got his name out there. And very typical Cancer form that that really brought him to the next level. A lot of things about Cancers is that they have to go against somebody in order to get strong. Like, they can't just get their strength from internalizing or intellectualizing, like how I'm just talking. You know, I can actually use my words as reference points to get myself strong, whereas like a Cancer can't really do that. They need drama. They need to physically see some drama play out that's going to set a stage for them to have somebody to go against, that's going to say, okay, now I'm getting stronger. You know, so if you're in a relationship with them, a lot of times they have to somehow set a stage where you're the bad guy, I'm the good guy. Now I'm going to do the things that I really should be doing from the first place, as far as self-respect, self-reliance, self-manifestation, practicing, you know, things for the self. A lot of times they'll have to go against you before they actually start to practice these things, and it's really sad. A lot of times when it comes to sex, they want you to hack away at them for sex. Like, they feel like, hey, if you want to have sex with me, anybody wants to have sex with me, they're going to have to go through all of this hard exterior shell before they really get to my sauce. If they really want me, then they'll prove it, you know. And that's really really not real love. You know, they'll put it out there like it's real love, but it's really manipulation. They really like to have a kind of relationship where they can be like a therapist to somebody, where it's like, this person has a lot of problems, and they can offer this person all the advice and give them everything that they need to really help them out to get them to the next level. That is their typical relationship. That's why a lot of times Cancers date people that are losers. Deferred gratification. That's another concept that they like. They like to kind of push your happiness back. You know, kind of like crabs in a barrel. You know, they are crabs. Let's see. Oh yeah, their worst fear is that you won't see them as moonlight angels. Like, they have a mystified glow about them a little bit, and their worst fear is that you won't see that no more. So they want to keep you locked into that that moonlight angel. You know, so like, if you're not worried about, say, if you go through a phase where you're not necessarily worried about sex, or if you start working out, if you just start bettering yourself and you start showing yourself some self-respect, they are gonna be worried, like, hey, do you still see me the same? Do you still see this glow? Do you still see the light? You know, they want you to see, they want you to be kind of lost in that mesmerizing glow. They can only relate to people if they feel needed. If they don't feel needed, they can't relate to you. If you think about them as a well-balanced, adult, mature, fully functional human being that doesn't leave you with that don't, you know, if you, as a real adult, as a person who can hold a conversation, as a person who's self-sufficient, not codependent, don't necessarily need to be in a relationship, something like that to them kind of scares them, because what are they going to sink their claws into? They need something there that's going to create some real pulp fiction, some real drama, that, you know, like, yeah, okay, this person's kind of fucked up, so now I can have something to talk about, now I can have something to fret about, now I can be nurturing, now I can be a mother. You know, they need that. It's like, as far as you're in a relationship with somebody who's just a well-balanced, equilibrium, you know, person, that kind of scares them, because there's no drama with that. I'm gonna stop this tape and I'm gonna start it over. Yeah, so sometimes Cancers, what they'll do is, there's a car commercial where the Cancer goes, I pinch. I don't know if you've ever seen this commercial. There's a crab. It's like, I pinch. They'll pinch. If you're in a relationship, they'll basically pinch you. They won't try to hurt you too much, but they will pinch you just enough just to create some drama so you know they can fix it, and you know they can go through the up and downs of the mood swings. So you know, can't be aware of that. If they really do this when they feel like they're not being needed. You know, if you're working out, you're in a relationship with somebody, you're working out, you start your own business, you're focused on your own things, they don't feel like they're needed, they're gonna pinch you. You know it's coming. The mom maneuver is what they're masters of. The mom maneuver, which means is like emotional blackmail and manipulation, long silences, suffocating devotion, stealth mood swings, like, you know, a mood swing that you don't even see coming. They like to make people feel permanently guilty to the point where they don't even know why. Where like you feel like you didn't even did nothing wrong, you know, but they still make you feel like, oh well, I did all this for you. Look out! After I did all of this for you, you still betrayed me, or you still didn't recognize that I needed my feelings reciprocated in such and such a way. So shame on you, and you know, and they'll leave it just right there. And then you know they like to be seen like that. You think about 50 Cent being shot too. 50 Cent got shot for a reason because he was riding around talking on record, saying things that were never supposed to be said on record. He got shot for that and used that underdog status as the key for him blowing up. Like he wasn't really an underdog. He was somebody who really did some really bogus things, but he used that image to you know blow up. A lot of people didn't realize that until years later. Cancer men are notorious for that. What else we got here? You love to help friends, but they don't want your help because you're gonna make them feel like they're 13 years old and like you're their mother. You don't even have no regard to the fact that you might be overstepping your boundaries as far as, you know, the smothering of the motherhood and you treating them like a child. That's a lot of times they won't want your help. They have a mistress syndrome, which means they like dating people who aren't going to commit to them because, you know, later on they can feel like the mistress, like, oh my god, he played me, I did all this stuff for him, and like, you know, they won't say that they like this role, but this is how their mind already kind of sees their life in that regard, so they kind of just set the stage to line themselves up to it. Bret Hart, perfect example, tried to make Vince McMahon feel bad about the decisions that you should research the My Show Screwjob, and you'll see a video that Vince McMahon put out saying to Bret Hart, he's like, I have no sympathy whatsoever for Bret Hart, and that's what Bret was really trying to create, was himself as a martyr role and try to have people feel bad for him, what happened to him. But Vince McMahon put out a video saying, I have no sympathy whatsoever, and it was really poetic just from a Cancerian. If you look at it from an astrological standpoint, you would really see what Bret Hart was trying to do, and Vince McMahon saw right through it. I was able to see right through it too. A lot of times cancers will take jobs that they are overqualified for because it sets the stage for them to feel superior and tell everyone else what to do, but in a very caring way. So a lot of times cancers will become teachers of, you know, especially of children and things like that, because they're basically overqualified for this position, but it gives them the authority to talk in this, you know, the nurturing and the maternal instinct. It's all right there. So yeah, that's why a lot of times they'll take jobs that they're overqualified for. These type of people will poison your food. These type of people they're good smugglers, you know, sneaky shit. Like, they won't do it in front of you, you know what I'm saying, but they will spit in your food, or they'll spit in your water, or like they'll, you know, they like to smuggle or sneak shit in. Like, that's the type of people that they are. They make great snitches, you know, as far as like giving them an excuse to snitch on somebody. Like, if somebody pissed them off, and then they can completely expose this person, you know, get them caught up in some shit like, oh man, fuck him, I ain't fucking with him. Yeah, he did this. This straight cancer type of material, you know, like trying to make somebody come to their downfall because their emotions weren't reciprocated for whatever reason. They look at law like history. They don't really see law and order as like real shit. They just see that as something that was part of history, you know, and it can be moved around and we can work around the law and fuck the law. You know, they don't really see the law as law. They just see it as something that happened in the past. Including in relationships, whether it's as far as, especially being a man, like if you're a man dating a cancer woman and you're trying to be the law and order of the relationship, they're not going to respect that at all. Matter of fact, they're going to see that as a stage to go against. Martyrdom, they're very strong on martyrdom, seeing themselves as a martyr, trying to set the stage as a martyr. They're very dusty and cluttered people, especially their household is very, usually 9 times out of 10, their house is cluttered. Shit everywhere, no organization. They don't throw shit out. They put nostalgic emotion onto anything. It could be a ticket that they went on their first date back in 8th grade, you know, and this is 20 years later and they still got that ticket and they can't throw out. Or it could be a piece of bubble gum that they was chewing on the day that they met their dream movie star. They're not gonna throw that bubble gum out. They're not gonna, you know, they keep shit all over the place. You know, a kid will draw them a picture of, you know, like kids draw pictures of mommy, daddy, family, you know, and typically you don't want to throw stuff like that out, but like at the same time, they're not going to find a foundation or a system of where to put this stuff. Like they may hang it on the refrigerator, they'll sit there for 5 years before they actually take it off the refrigerator. You know, they're not going to put a system in place because their thoughts are moving the same way. It's all feelings. 9 times out of 10 they'll have a lame ducks, divorcees, strays, desperate people living in their house or sleeping on their couch that they're taking care of. Typically they are very boring. They don't like to have a lot of fun. Sometimes they feel like they don't even deserve fun. You know, you put 12 people on an island and you say, okay, one by one we're gonna have to get rid of these. You know, somebody's gonna have to go, and you ask the cancer, okay, now who do you think should go? They're gonna say me. Okay, I'll go. You know, that's the type of shit that they do. That's the martyrdom shit. But I mean, if you want to be a martyr, that's cool. But who wants to be with somebody like that? Think about it. They have no game whatsoever. Like fire signs, a lot of times, you know, dealing with fire signs, water signs, fire signs, you gotta have game. A lot of times, even with air signs, you gotta have game. Like game, you can't. Either you're born with it or you don't. A lot of times, cancers, they don't have no game. Matter of fact, they like to be bullied. They like to set the stage to be bullied because it goes right back to the martyrdom. King Henry VIII was a very typical cancer. Cut off his wife's head. Dated several cancers. I mean, usually cancer dated several women. Changed laws around to date some of these women. Started his own church because the church disagreed with what he was doing. You know, this is very true cancer. You study King Henry VIII, you really see a very spoiled cancer who never grew up. Sometimes they can be considered as lunatics, professional victims. Their favorite thing to say is, after all I've done for you, how could you do this to me? You know, that's how they think. We have a concept called the Tinkerbell avatar. If you study, you can Google the video, the Tinkerbell avatar that I have. I believe it's on this channel, or it's called What is the HOODX Negative Zodiac Avatar. Check that video out. It explains what the Tinkerbell concept is real quick. Tinkerbell was following Peter Pan around. She had a lot of love for Peter Pan, but you watch his interaction with Peter Pan and Wendy. You see how Tinkerbell took that. Typically, this is how cancer women act. So that's the Tinkerbell concept. I mean, it's okay to be sensitive, but when you wallow in emotional turmoil and volatility, that's just sickening. A lot of times cancers, you know, it's the difference between sensitivity and wallowing. You know, and a lot of times cancers, they're not sensitive. These are people that wallow in emotional despair. So be aware of that. Like I said, they'll go through a whole slew of emotions. They'll laugh, then cry, then sulk, then joke, then retreat, then attack, then complain, all in a matter of 15 minutes. They will get fat. Cancer women get fat no matter what they eat. They have horrible diet, horrible eating habits. You try to tell them what to eat, they're not going to listen. You know, they get fat no matter what they eat. So, you know, you try to tell them that, you know, good luck with that. They'll take it as an insult. They won't see it as, hey, I'm in a relationship with you. I got to watch you get fat. I should have some input on this. No, they feel that you're supposed to be with them no matter how fat, no matter how sloppy, no matter what they do. You got to stay faithful to them. And the fact that you even go look outside the relationship for happiness, shame on you. You're supposed to be with me no matter how fat, no matter how sloppy, no matter what I do. This is how they see shit. What else we got? Pathologically shy in public. They are very touchy. They're not logical. They think everybody's out to get them. Especially on the first sign of any type of disagreement. As soon as you disagree with them, they're going to see it. They get paranoid and they think, oh, you're out to get them. They have no rational thinking gene, which means that they don't think rationally at all. They think strictly with feelings. You know, especially any type of rational conversation that you're showing them only makes things worse, because 9 times out of 10 they're going to think, why aren't you thinking how I'm thinking? How can you be thinking rational? You know, you should be thinking how I'm thinking. You know, a lot of times they'll get mad at you because you might not, because you may be a person who thinks rational logically. What else we got? Kevin O'Leary. from Shark Tank is a Cancer. He's also born the same day as what's his name? Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, I believe his name is. And if you look at Shark Tank, you see the other sharks up there. You notice how Kevin acts. He's just always drama, it's extra drama. He sets the stage for the whole drama of the show. Really, that's why they put him up there, because he's a Cancer, and you think this is business, and I mean, he is very good business oriented, but he also has an air of drama about himself that you kind of see him liking that center stage on Shark Tank. And also, you notice Jordan Belfort was also a master manipulator of people's emotions and getting them to put money up using emotional instincts. He actually has a discount called Straight Line Persuasion, which he sells online for $2,500, which shows you how to exploit and manipulate people's emotions. So then, mind you, these people are both born on the same day, which I believe is July 9th, if I'm not mistaken. Hunter S. Thompson, who is from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, there was his book and movie. There's a Cancer who had to take a lot of drugs, a lot of liquor in order just to think clearly. So think about that. A lot of Cancer, what they call Looney Tunes, which means they are walking incarnates of cartoons. A lot of times I see myself as the character from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. When you're dealing with Cancer, because they all cartoons, and you be the only real person, dealing with them, because they move like cartoons. You just have to watch them a lot to really understand what that concept means. A lot of times they see the relationships as like Siamese twins, meaning y'all supposed to be stuck at the hip. If they could work with you, they would work together. If they can get in the shower with you, they would get in the shower with you, wake up with you, go to sleep with you, drive with you, everywhere. This is how they typically, in their mind, how they see relationships. And anything that's moving away from that, shame on you. A lot of Cancer men are mama's boys. 50 Cent, I believe, was a mama's boy, but his mom got killed. That's why I believe a lot of the negative spiral that he went down was because his mother was not there and he wasn't able to exercise that relationship with his mother. And it really set the stage for Renegade. They love to play the guess how I'm feeling game, or you should know how I'm feeling. A lot of times it'd be simple shit. Like you go to the store, you buy some toothpaste, and I mean, it's the brand that they're not used to. You're supposed to know this, they're gonna sulk. All type, like they welcome that well, what about me, like type thing. If you go out with your friends, you don't hang out with your friends, you don't invite them, shame on you. Why didn't you invite me? If you're a Cancer, if you're a woman and you're dating a Cancer man, you want to go hang out with the girls, he's going to try to make you feel bad for wanting to go hang out with the girls. A lot of Cancer men act like women. Believe it or not, they're very emotional, overly emotional when it's not even necessary. Like I say, King Henry VIII cut his wife's head off. A lot of times dealing with Cancer women, look at it, you should read the poem called The Spider and the Fly, because that's kind of what Cancer women do. They set a very nice, pretty little web, and it looks so cozy on the surface, and as soon as you take one step in there, you're stuck, and they got you. And everybody else would think you crazy. They're like, man, she's such a nice woman, why can't you just be with her? Because they don't understand the manipulation. They don't understand it's a trap. On the surface, you can't really see it. Like it's like water. It happens right in front of you, you just can't see it. And they'll drain. That's when they start draining your self-respect out of you, where you lose your own self-respect, and you start thinking her thoughts, and your own emotions and stuff like that go out the window, and they make you feel bad for having your own ambitions and your own dreams. If you have a favorite glass or a favorite movie or a favorite DVD or a favorite tape or a favorite album, they'll break it. Trust me, or it's going to end up missing. Favorite jacket or something like that you kind of love, then it looks like you love that more than them, it's going to be gone. And they'll cry. They break your favorite glass, something like that. They'll cry, oh my God, I feel so right. But like in the back of your mind, you won't know if they did it on purpose or not. Also, too, kind of like the Pisces, they have what's called the internal blindfold, which means inside their self, they blind themselves to their own BS that they do. Where they actually believe their own BS. So they don't even know if they're acting out of the kindness under their heart or if they're trying to manipulate the situation. If you go back to the situation I was talking about with Bret Hart and the Montreal Screwjob, it was a situation where eventually they gave him the belt. They eventually gave him and Hart the belt, and because he had turned down, at one point he had turned down going to WCW, and he didn't know. Believe it or not, he didn't know if he had did that as a strategic move to get the belt, or was he doing that to really be loyal? Even he doesn't know. You know, but it's very strategic in his mind. This is how they move. You know, they put on an internal blindfold, whereas you know, they can't be held accountable for their own manipulation. What is it? What do we got? Typically they have no friends, especially when they get in relationships, because they like to smother people like children. They should be really good actors. They have a natural instinct for acting and drama and stage. Right. If you call home, you call home, say I'm gonna be late. You know, they'll make you feel bad. They're like, oh, it's okay. Well, you know, I just stayed up all night cooking your dinner, and now you're gonna be late. So I guess I'll just eat by myself. Stuff like that, and you hang up the phone, and now you're trying to concentrate, but you can't think straight because you're thinking about what she just said. But she's at home eating bonbons, watching TV. She didn't even think twice about it. You know, it was a move. It was a jujitsu move that she threw at you real quick, and you know you're still thinking about it. She's not even thinking about it no more. What else we got? I think this is pretty much it. Yeah, basically being with a Cancer is like being in a Greek tragedy. Somebody's feelings is always getting hurt. Cancer mom and dad will never show you how to balance your checkbook, and it's because they don't really know how. They're like kids; they never grew up, and plus they think that you're never going to grow up. So that's why you know they'll always be there to take care of you anyway. So you don't need to learn how to balance your checkbook. You don't need to learn about money. You don't need to learn about none of that stuff. As kids, they type of person to throw themselves on the floor and start crying, and then say, "Daddy, threw me on the floor," right when you walk in. Stuff like that. Manipulators. They like to be babied. Romance only goes so far. These people want to be babied, mind you. There's a difference between romance and baby. They don't want to be romance. They want to be baby. They have a "I will worship no other God but you" syndrome. If you actually come out and say that, it actually kind of works with them. I've used that with Cancer. Oh, you know, I worship no other God but you, and you know, it kind of makes them realize how they look, because this is how they actually think. O.J. Simpson was a Cancer. Mike Tyson was a Cancer, I believe he was in jail for rape. Courtney Love was a Cancer, who was actually with a Pisces, who's Kurt Cobain, who killed himself. And a lot of people, you should research how they were saying how Courtney Love was acting once Kurt Cobain, you know, once he realized he was dead. She realized she was going to be a star. The way she started acting, it didn't seem normal at all. You should look into that. Cancer typically have no life of their own. They claim to be old-fashioned. They're not really old-fashioned. They're just boring. They don't, that type of people listen to new songs, and they're not gonna bring you a new song. They listen to like old songs. You know, they don't listen for new songs or new movies and stuff like that. They're typically old-fashioned. They dwell in self-pity. They're weak, pathetic, emotional, limp rag. Sometimes they wear their heart on their sleeve. They're very unstable, very clingy, very susceptible to suggestion. I'm gonna stop this and start it over real quick. Yeah, last part. They claim to be intuitive, but they're really spying on you. They claim to be protective, but they're really smothering you. They claim to be cautious, but they're afraid to take risks. They claim to be homemakers, but they're really scared to leave the house. They claim to be sympathetic listeners, but they really just like to gossip. They claim to be imaginative, but they're really just delusional with no sense of reality. See things for as they are. They dislike confidence, especially in their mates. So like I said, if you know, you start working out, you start just showing a lot of degree of confidence, they're going to find some way to go against you to bring that down, because that's how they get strength, which is really sad. Like I said, they don't believe that there is freedom in relationships. The porn star Pinky is a Cancer, and if you really look close at that, you can kind of see how that's someone who's kind of uses emotional, sexual energy to manipulate and, but yeah, to sexual deviance, sexual manipulation, emotional manipulation. Somebody who thrives on that. Falling in love with love is falling for make-believe. Every Cancer should wear that on their t-shirt for about a year, because a lot of times Cancers like being idea and love. I mean, they like being in the idea of being in love, no matter who it is. So this video is for Cancers. If you are dating a Cancer, I hope I said something to you to help you wake up. Please leave a comment below if you have any story dealing with cancers. Like I said, I'm not trying to harp on anybody. I'm not bitter. I just put this information out. Entertainment purpose only. Take it with a grain of salt. Subscribe to my channel. Appreciate it. Hopefully, if you are cancer and you watch this, you learned something. I hope you did. Check out my other videos. Peace.